Okay, primal day today. I think so do you guys have a heavy-ish weight, I don't know, 40 or 50 or something like that?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll need one suitcase carry weight if you got it. I'm trying to think of a well, if you don't have a suitcase weight, a weight that challenges you for that, or that you could at least pretend challenges you, we'll do a side plank instead when we get there. It's not purely primal, but uh, accomplishes sort of the same goal. Okay, so that is about it. So in terms of equipment needs, all you'll need is a heavy-ish weight to walk around with. Um, all right, so we're going to start off today. Like most Thursdays, we're going to start off on the floor. Just taking some deep breaths. All right, so we get started, just laying down on your back, making that spine nice and long on the floor. They let your shoulder blades lay flush to the floor, and the back of your head rests on the floor. All right, from here, you can put hands around your rib cage, and we're going to start taking those nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Think about bringing those breaths as deep as you can or as low as you can down into your belly. The one thing we don't want is breathing up into your chest so that your shoulders rise up towards your ears. We want to avoid that. Okay, so think about instead of pulling the breath into the top of your chest, you're going to open things up down low. Keep taking those nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, 3 more breaths. And good. All right, let's go laying your body out flat. All right, for this one, we're going to use your lower body to help you roll. So we're going to roll sideways, right? So you're going to use your lower body. We're going to reach that leg over and let your leg pull your upper body over. All right, so we'll end up on your belly and push up onto your elbows to extend up. Try to get your t-shirt logo facing forward. And good. Then we'll come back down. Again, we're going to use that leg, so we reach your leg back behind you and let it pull your shoulders over. And then we'll go to the other side. So we're just going to alternate sides here. So we'll let that leg reach over. At some point, there will be enough weight to pull your upper body over. Get to that other side. Come up onto your elbows. And then as we go back over, we're going to reach with that leg first. So the first thing to go is your leg. And then it pulls the rest of your body over. Okay. So let's just continue with that, rolling side to side. Again, using your leg. It also helps to, whatever side you're rolling over, that arm should be extended up over your head. So you don't have to roll around it. You just kind of roll right over it. Remember, once you get to your belly, we're going to take a pause, come up into that extension. Do as much of the work as you can by moving your lower body, almost like you're not able to use your upper body, right? So like your arms don't work for you. And good. Okay, same idea, except now we're going to do upper body rolling, which is a little tougher to do because there's not as much weight up top. Okay, so now we're going to reach over. Now it's going to be like your legs don't work, right? So we're going to reach with your upper body. And then as soon as once you reach that far enough, your hips just sort of roll over. And then we'll come up into the extension again. And good. Coming back is the tougher part. We're going to reach that arm back and over. Hardest part is keeping yourself from pushing with this knee. And we open up, and then it pulls the rest of your body over. Okay. So we reach, come up into an extension. And then we open up. Let the rest of the leg, or let the rest of the body come with. All right, let's do that 2 more times each side. So we're reaching over, getting over onto your belly is usually a little bit easier. Make sure on your way back, you're reaching first. Okay, so reach that arm behind you. And we should be doing the last one. And good. Let's end up here on your back. Just grabbing your knees. And we'll roll up. And we'll just go through a couple of rolls here. If coming all the way up doesn't work for you, we can just stay here, make it a smaller rock on the floor. Okay, what we want is the ground just sort of passing over your spine as you go through that roll. Those are actually, we're going to be doing some rolling in the circuit today. So just FYI, be ready for that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and roll up to a seated position. I'm going to cross your legs, just sitting nice and tall. Getting that stretch through your hips. We want to try to feel this as a stretch in your hips rather than pressure on your knees. So if you're feeling that pressure on your knees, you can move your feet away from you, move your feet toward you, find a place where it feels more like a stretch in your hips. And let's switch the cross of your legs. And good, let's cross again. This time you're gonna use your hands and you can walk yourself around. Look behind you and we'll go the other way. And good, let's switch the cross. So we look over one shoulder. Make sure we're staying as tall as you can there. And we look over the other. And good. So let's lay one thigh on the ground. The other leg stays, and the other shin stays tall. So this is kind of that half cross-legged position that we were in last week. And we'll switch. Switching side to side. You may not be able to get your thigh and both butt cheeks to the floor. That's okay. And we switch again. And one more time. Okay, good. So let's go seated position. Feet are straight out in front of you, sitting as tall as you can. Right, then we're going to bring one foot in, and we bring it as close to you as you can. So we're trying to get almost like your heel to your butt here, while still sitting up tall. Okay, so that you might have to take one cheek off the ground to do it. Right, so if you can't do it with both cheeks on the ground, or you feel like you get a better angle on it by shifting off to one side, we can do that, but try to stay as tall as you can as you bring that leg in. And let's switch sides. Trying to bring your foot in far enough so that it stays, or that it sits flat. You can kind of play around with whatever works best for you. Maybe it's straight up and inside your shoulder. Maybe it works better for you to drop it outside your shoulder, like just angle your shin out that little bit and switch it up. And good. All right, so from here, we're gonna start to work on putting some weight on that foot. Okay, so we're working our way up to one of the things we're gonna do in the circuit. It's called a rollover get up, right? So from here, we're gonna start to shift weight forward. So if you look from the side, you get your heel nice and close, and then we're gonna try to shift some weight, put some weight on it, okay, so that heel is pushing through the floor. Not because you're actively pushing it down, but because now you have body weight on it. So we'll switch, we shift some weight on there. If you're you're not feeling like you're getting there that way, go ahead and sit on your roller. It's a good way to start, right? So we got legs straight out. We're gonna do the same thing, but now we're on the roller. The roller's actually potentially a little bit high. So if you have a couple of couch cushions or something, that would work. All right, because where we're gonna go from here is we're gonna roll onto this knee. So if we switch, right? So this knee that's up is gonna become the knee that's on the ground, right? So as we get into this, shifting more and more weight on there. And then at some point, we can even use fingertips to help. We're gonna roll forward and put that knee to the ground. And just come up to half kneeling. And then when you go back, you sit your butt to your heel. Again, if you're going to the roller, make sure you have hands on that roller. We come up. So you'll get a big stretch under your toes. You get a big stretch through your calf. Potentially, we want to make sure that your knees are nice and square and everything, so we're not rotating or twisting your shin, because we want to keep things nice and sound around your knee. All right. So again, if you're sitting on the roller, we can use the fingertips. We'll switch sides, roll right over the top of the ball of your foot with your butt on your heel, and we sit down. Okay, so it looks like this. We sit down. Again, we can use fingertips if you have to, and we work our way to the floor. And let's just alternate sides, feeling our way through that. And eventually the goal would be to be hands-free. Okay, that you'd be surprised, you might feel like there's no way I could do it hands-free, but the more you do it, the more of a skill it becomes. All right, so we just sit back and we're rolling over. So you might find that even if you can't go hands-free today, you might find that you are able to do it with a lot less help from your hands. Okay. All right, so that's it for right now. We are going to do it, like I said, we're going to do it in the circuit. Last part of this today is we're going to do a little bit more rolling, and the goal for this, there's sort of a range of what you want to do in the circuit. So I'm going to show a shoulder roll. Okay, we're going to work on the shoulder roll just a little bit. If you're not there, no big deal. We'll just stick with the rocking that we did earlier. But we want to start to kind of do what challenges you, especially in the circuit. All right, so for the shoulder roll, we start off just like a regular rock, like we did in the beginning. All right, but then at some point, We're going to come back onto one shoulder, right? So we want to lean onto a shoulder so that your head isn't, your neck isn't getting crunched like that. So as we go over, you're going to go over one shoulder, okay? And you can do it a little bit, or you can go all the way, knees to the floor, because that's the shoulder roll, okay? That's what we're looking at. That's what we want to kind of get to. If you're not doing it today in the circuit, that's okay. Like I say, you just stick with the rocking. Okay, so if you get over on the shoulder roll, there's two ways you can do it. You can keep going depending on the room that you got, or you can go back the way you came. Okay, and we sort of just reverse the motion with that shoulder on the ground and roll forward. Okay, so again, the progression there is rocking, right? So if rocking works for you today, that works for me, right? We can also roll onto a shoulder, come back, and then roll onto the other shoulder. So we just throw those feet behind you a little bit farther. And then if you're doing the full shoulder roll, you'll end up doing the full thing and ending up on your knees, okay? So that's the rolling that we'll do in the circuit, okay? Today's circuit's gonna be just a little bit different. We're gonna go 30 seconds, 6 different movements, and we're gonna do those 4 times each for a total of 12 minutes, all right? So the first one is that get up, the rollover get up that we talked about, right? Where you bring that heel in as close to your butt as you can. We shift your weight forward and then come up to one knee. And then we'll go back. You can alternate those. In 30 seconds, you might get 1 or 2 each side, okay? So this one's gonna feel like it goes pretty quick. So the second one, that's the rollover get up. Shoulder crawl is next. Lying on your back. Either just shifting weight from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, or we start to use those shoulder blades like feet, walking along the ground. Okay, so that's the shoulder crawl. We'll go for 30 seconds. Suitcase carry on one side for 30 seconds. Suitcase carry on the other side for 30 seconds. And then we've got the rocking or the roll. If you're going to do the shoulder roll, you can go for it. And the last one is just a jump, right? So we're just going to jump. You can put a either real or pretend target on the floor, something to jump to, something that's safe, that's not going to fly out from under you. Okay, but all we're doing here is a 2-foot jump, like you're jumping from one rock to the next. All right, 2 feet to 2 feet. So really, we're just jumping forward, kind of make your way around your room. Okay. All right, so we're going to get 12 minutes on the clock. All right, so we're going to start off on the floor with that rollover get up, where you bring your heel in towards your butt. All right, starting in 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and hit the floor. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Again, if you want to stack some pillows up under your butt or use, one big couch cushion, that's going to help you bring that heel in a little bit closer so that you can put weight on it, so that you can roll over it. All right, we're already halfway through this circuit. Maybe you go from using 2 hands to help to using just 1. 2, 1. All right, down on your back for the shoulder crawl. We're sort of doing like a simulated obstacle course here. Just using all these movements. Lots of different things going on here this morning. 10 seconds left for the shoulder crawl. Suitcase carry is next, so have that weight nearby. Starting in 2, 1, and here we go. We're gonna go 30 seconds each side, making sure we're nice and strong. If you don't have a heavy weight that challenges you for this, you can either do a side plank or just use a lighter weight and try to get extra strong down your side, so that if you were holding that heavy weight, you'd be able to support it. 5 seconds left on this side. 2, 1, switch hands. 5 seconds left. And let's go for the rolling. So either rocking on your back or doing the full shoulder roll. Ten seconds left. If you haven't done a roll for a while, the brain might get scrambled. 3 seconds. And let's go ahead and jump. So last movement in the group here, just a 2-foot jump to a 2-foot landing. Taking your time with these, make sure we stick every landing. 5 left. And good. That's round 1. Let's go back up to the top for that get up. All right, so we're rolling over the ball of your foot, letting that knee tap to the floor, and then we get up tall on one knee from there. 10 left. Three seconds. And shoulder crawl. Here we go. Laying down on your back. If you run out of room, walking towards the direction of your head, try coming back. We just reverse the motion, and you'd be moving in the direction of your feet. 3 seconds. 1, and suitcase carry. Here we go. And we switch sides. Make sure we're staying nice and tall. Shoulders are back. Tailbone is down. Ten seconds left. Rolling is next. In 2, 1. Here we go. So either rocking on the floor or doing that roll over your shoulder. If you're rocking on the floor, maybe the next progression is taking your hands off of your knees. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and we jump. Here we go. 2 feet to 2 feet. Make sure we're bumping up to the edge of your comfort zone here while still staying in your comfort zone. I think if you haven't jumped for a while, okay, it can be a pretty aggressive thing. 5 seconds. And good. Roll over, get up. One way to get into this is just to kneel down. And as you take that knee, you can roll right into the movement. Five seconds. Shoulder crawl is next. 2, 1, and here we go. Remember, the more you roll off the ground, the opposite side off the ground, the less drag you'll have. 2, 1, and suitcase carry. Here we go. Stand tall, keep the shoulders level. And switch hands. Try not to let the weight affect your posture. So we shouldn't be leaning away from it or towards it. Okay, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and rocking or rolling on the floor. 10 left. 3 seconds. And we jump. Here we go. Again, if you want to pick something to jump to, adds a little bit of challenge. Just making sure we jump to that thing and stick your landing on it. Could be anything, could just be a spot or a tile you pick on the floor. And good, back up to the top last time. We'll take a knee, sit back on that heel, rock back to the floor. It's better for this to be smooth than to be hands-free, right? So if you need a little bit of help from a hand, no big deal there. Shoulder crawl in 3 seconds, 2, 1, and here we go. Lay down on your back. Five seconds, 3, 2, 1, and we carry. Three seconds, 2, 1, switch sides. Okay, rolling is next, starting in 3 seconds, 2, 1, and we roll. Here we go. So remember, even if you're not going all the way over your shoulder, okay, there's a lot of value to just getting your feet or your knees up a little bit higher than you normally would. Make sure your weight is on a shoulder blade rather than on the back of your head. You should be able to basically keep your head off the floor through the whole movement. And we roll over that shoulder. All right, last 30 seconds, we jump. Sticking every landing. Making sure as your feet hit the floor, you put a little pressure into the outside of your shoes. Keep those knees from collapsing in towards each other. Okay, we don't want your knees making like an A-frame with your shins. right? We want to spread the floor a little bit, keeping those shins vertical. And relax. Okay. Not bad. All right, guys, thanks for moving around with me this morning. You know, sometimes these classes can be a little weird, but it's just a good way to move. And, you know, these are all things that happen in daily life. Okay. If you're ever forced to move around, like, you know, you never know the next time you're going to do a somersault, right, Mark?
Yep. Especially living next to Ted.
Right. Or, you know, the ladder starts to fall. So you spring from the ladder, hit the floor, do a forward somersault and pop up.
Yep.
You never know when you need that skill, you know?
That's right.
So, all right, guys, thanks for moving around with me this morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, can you call me real quick when you get a chance?
Yeah, let me make sure I got your number.